What are you reporting? This stuff's confusing, man. I had to go into the YouTube dashboard and specifically press go live. We're offline on Twitch. It's completely offline on Twitch. Let's see what the logs say. Stream target relay disconnected. Name Twitch. Okay. Probably, I don't know. I guess it would be the stream key. Isn't that crazy? What if I change the stream key right now? Apparently I need help with this damn RTMP thing. Apparently so. Hello, Dan. Hello, Marco DSLS. Hello, Karim Hassan. Let's see. Process started. Yeah, it's not going to connect to Twitch. We're sending bytes to... here, I'll show you. Hopefully it's safe for me to show you. I'm pretty sure it's safe. Put this down here. So right now... Oh, that's bad. We're not dropping frames, but we're also not sending a very good bit rate. Is it lagging? Yoza. What's Yoza mean? Okay, now it's back up. 6 megabits. We're relaying that through to YouTube and Twitter. But you see, nothing's going to Twitch here. So I'll just have to fix up Twitch at a later time. Let's see, does my channel show me live right now? I do show up live here, that's good. Let's see if the chat, that's why the chat didn't work before. Let's turn that off and then turn it back on. It should be able to, yeah, here we go. Yeah, the messages are all here. Okay. Okay, I'm going to pop that down here. Doesn't matter if Twitch isn't working. And we will proceed. Running smoothly on YouTube, okay. That's good. We'll see how it goes. I mean, last stream, I was sending to my server and it was forwarding onto YouTube and it did that fine for the whole stream. Twitter, on the other hand, did die in the middle of the stream. So let's see. Right now, it says Elixir in Phoenix. No, this is the old one. Create a studio, live studio. Right, so I'd have to do a new live stream. And let's just copy whatever we got from here. You see how janky this all is? It's crazy how janky it is. Crazy how janky. And now I can go live on Twitter. Do I know much about main code and Matilda? I have no idea what those are. So now I'm live on Twitter. That's cool. And I can go here /live chat, and that should give me the chat. I'll move that separately because I don't have that integrated or anything. I don't expect anyone to actually say hello on Twitch, but how do those online services do it? I have no idea. they'd have deeper integration with it. You know, they've already worked all this stuff out, so that's just how it goes. Hello, Ahmed. Why did I? Oh, I got notified about a new email. I don't want to know. I don't want to see those. Also, polling the YouTube. Why not Twitch? It was supposed to be on Twitch, but it's not working. I should also be able to see my usage of the YouTube data API, because that's what we have to do to get these messages for the last hour. See, we went live and now we're doing stuff and we have a quota. We've got 2%, 2% used, so we're good. All right, anyway, on to what we're actually doing. We are building an Envoy dynamic module. We're going to build it in Rust. And there's going to be AI assistance. And the reason why I'm building it is to bring Envoy more in line with the experience of another proxy, which is called Caddy. Caddy is interesting because it already has the sort of deep integration with LetsEncrypt. So whenever you put a domain name and you run that proxy, it's going to try to do a HTTP 01 challenge and get a certificate. So I also want that for Envoy. And we'll see how far we get. So I'm going to do cargo new. Let's just call it Envoy ACME Dyn mod. And so that's created a project which is going to be a binary project, but it's actually going to be a dynamic lib. Can I recommend resources for studying concurrency, locks, and atomics? There should be a book on that specific topic. What about Elixir? Last time I checked, you're learning that. Yes, that's still happening, but today we're going to do something different. Have I ever set up gRPC JSON transcoding on Envoy? Actually, no, I've never done that. Never needed it. But supposedly they have good support for that. Okay. So Envoy Rust Dynamic Module SDK is what we want. So we have this crate, and we have some examples. Dynamic modules, Rust, README, examples. And then we have examples over here. We can go check out Rust here with main. And we can pretty much just copy like most of this. So cargo add, are we gonna want Serde? I don't know. Envoy proxy dynamic modules Rust SDK. Is that even gonna work? I wonder. That crate doesn't exist, but this one does. Okay. And then we need lib. We're going to have crate type is citywide lib. Actually, is there some way to bootstrap this which is easier? Next poll, okay. Dash map, one cell. None of this stuff matters. This addition's fine. And this particular one, oh, okay, it's got heaps of different ones in here. So we've got lib, which is going to pull in all the different types of filters. And then based on which filter name you select in the config, it's going to hand back a different one to Envoy. And in this case, we are going to hijack a path or some paths and respond to ACME challenges. So let's see. We've got the crate type. Okay, it's saying we need Tokyo and Tonic. Prost, Serde, JSON, Serde, tracing, that makes sense. Dash map, and RCgen. I don't know why I would need RCgen. So, okay. Did that not work? Can I do two at once? Can't find library. Rename. Oh, whoops. So we need this. And we're going to call it, I don't know, LetsEncrypt. No, we can't call it that. Just going to call it that for the moment, I suppose. Library target names can't contain hyphens. Makes sense. Let's just call it that. Can I share the gist? Yes. I will share the gist. Okay. So we need, yeah, we need instant ACME, we need Prost, we need Serde JSON, tracing, dash map. And then RCgen for temporary self-signed boot certs. We'll get to that later. Okay. Phase 2, shared state and in-memory token registry. Create a thread-safe singleton state shared across worker threads, the background ACME worker, and the HTTP filter. Implement state RS. Challenge tokens. I'm going to go ahead and use Codex for most of this, probably. What does Satanu mean? Have you ever watched the movie Predator? Okay, let's just... see, do I create ACME done mod? Actually, I don't want to give it this many steps at once. Okay, let's see. I think this crate ain't official. Which one? Satanu in the Predator movies is the god of death. Which crate are you talking about is not official? So I already know that this like crate is fine to use. I've used it in the past. This one here. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this guy is a contributor to Envoy. He works at Netflix, by the way. And if we look at the pull requests, he's closed 235 pull requests against Envoy. So I think he's okay. Let's see, the last, yeah, so he's got that crate. Metadata about 2 years ago. Really? Is there a more up-to-date one then? 2 years ago. I could use Git to grab it from the repo. If there's something more up to date. GitHub. Oh, so they've stored it in here, I guess? Liquid hydrocarbon molecule. What's in Aussie's water that makes you so chill? Why should I not be chill? Do I have a reason not to be? So this was updated like recently, which makes me think I should probably grab it from Git. And we can base it off a tag. Envoy proxy dynamic modules, yeah. So tag, we can go with 1.39.0. Seems cool. Just wanted to mention because of the weird times we live in. What makes the times weird at the moment? Oh, you mean the supply chain stuff? Isn't Envoy just a reverse proxy? You can use it in server mesh or as ingress controller in Kubernetes. Yes. That's correct. Envoy is like Nginx, but for Microsoft. It's just like Nginx in general. Oh, it's not doing a shallow clone. cargo git dependency shallow. Can we do shallow? Nightly shallow depth. I don't want nightly. Shallow depths, shallow index. Don't worry about it. Can't find lib envoy acme at path. Why is that? What about now? Can't find that either. Oh, because we don't have a lib.rs. Okay, now we're good. You're making a WASM-backed code sandbox runtime. Cool. What does dynamic module allow you to do? Dynamic module allows you to add functionality to Envoy using a piece of code that Envoy loads at runtime. So it has good performance. Okay. Let's see what Codex comes up with here. We'll track these files, stage them, so that when stuff is changed, we'll see what's going on. And this is our guiding document, which I didn't come up with this, but I had a LLM write this for me. But essentially, we're going to need to get some protocol buffers in here for the SDS API. Okay, the repo is currently an empty Rust library. Clean architecture would be config. Those seem reasonable, yeah. Challenge, concurrent token to key authorization store. HTTP filter, intercept only, and then return the matching value. Otherwise, continue Envoy's filter chain. Reasonable. Certificate manager, so create and load the ACME account, issues certs with instant ACME, persist account and keys, and renew before expiry. And then we've got SDS. We're going to implement one of the Envoy discovery services just to give certificates. Envoy is going to point back to itself to get the certs, and also persist them somewhere so that if it ever restarts, it doesn't have to hit Let's Encrypt again. And then a runtime, one process-wide Tokyo runtime shared by all filter instances. That makes sense. Two important requirements remain unspecified. How configuration should be supplied. JSON is probably going to be the way to go. Where ACME account credentials and certs should persist. That should be configurable. Durable storage is essential to prevent unnecessary reissuance. That is a problem that we will put onto the user. We can also do something there later where, let's say, Envoy answers the challenge, then we can choose to persist it on the disk, or we can also choose to publish it somewhere. Maybe that's like an extension that we can add later, like a little plugin to say when the certificate has been done, maybe you want to encrypt it and ship it off somewhere. I don't know. Maybe to some kind of distributed cache. I don't know. It's a bit sus dealing with like certificate bundles, but presuming assuming that they're encrypted, password protected, or something like that, it should be fine. Should. Why sys? Why YSY Softworks? Nice to know. Your channel's awesome. Thank you very much. Oh, you just became a member. Thanks, dude. When did that happen? I think I need to hook up like sound alerts or something like that. Cheers. If honesty had a name, it would be Vasilius. Well, I do fancy myself pretty honest. To a fault. Could you launch a course on this kind of cloud shit? I don't know what. I don't know. I'd have to think about that. I'd have to think about. Like, people have asked, have said I should make a course. I don't know what I'd make a course on, to be honest. This stuff might seem real obvious, but yeah. So let's see. Codex all G config should be JSON. Can expand later. Actually, I don't need to tell it that. And then cred certs persist to disk later extend later provide other options. And let's just see what it comes up with. I haven't given it any like architectural or like code style directives, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, then. By the way, yeah, cool. My face is in the frame. Nice. At least tell me what are awesome things I should create by my own like you. I don't think I should tell you what to create. I think you should come up with something that you actually like. Because if it's not relevant, you won't really be motivated to do it. Maybe you should come up with a an app that something that gives you ideas of projects to create. A project that gives you project ideas. PR trained response. You know, crazily enough, all of my PR training is just from corporate trauma. Can you believe it? I mean, it's believable. It is believable. No one on, let me see this. Let me see. Live, right? Let me see. What's going on here? 5 views, but it doesn't say the live viewers, does it? Who is here right now? On Twitch? No one. On Twitter, sorry. Okay. Codex is exploring. What is it exploring? It is reading. What is it looking for right now? It's looking for protocol buffers. The concrete config will represent one SAN certificate. All configured domains are issued together and exposed under one SDS secret name. Okay. Why just one? Why just one? Disk state will contain the ACME account credentials plus the current cert chain and private key. Rights will be atomic, and private key material will use owner-only permissions. It's then gone through, added a bunch of dependencies in here. It's created a main in build RS. It has, oh my goodness gracious. Has it downloaded and manually written out the protocol buffers? The level you have reached, it probably tells me that you worked hard and consistently. So, of course, don't make sense because it's all about exploring, trying, building, and reading. Am I correct? Probably tells me that you have worked hard. I don't know. That's a perception thing. I feel like I haven't worked hard enough, and that I'm very inconsistent. So, what's everyone else doing? A project that gives me a project to create. Yes. Indie game developer here. Already released 8 games on Steam this year. I aim to release another 5. Oh. How have your games done so far? Are you profiting? Now I'll create AI, which will create AI. We've got that. We have that. Hey man, how to get into quant dev? Ask Coding Jesus. Kittler. Hello, Kittler. Okay, so I'm not a fan of how it's like manually created protobuf files. Capricorn. I'm not a Capricorn. You're building a Tory app on top of Matilda's new SDK. Oh. Interesting. What does the app do? I see this. Tonic Frost build. What's the latest for this? 14.6. I stopped using Gemini. Yeah, everyone kept complaining about it, so I went and got a Codex subscription. Now I don't have to answer 50 times during the stream why I'm using Gemini. All right. So is it Codex or any other coding agent? Yeah, this is Codex right here. Going through, building all the things. It has, okay, this file is not in the tree. It's handling non-Linux things, which I don't really care about at the moment. Yeah. I don't super care about that right now. And then what's it got here? Disk storage, which is a struct with a root. And then we have another struct, stored certificate. Disk storage has what? Self.write JSON. Okay, hold on a sec. Right. Self.write JSON with a generic type. Hello, Nikos. So far, they only have a web-based chat thing, CLI coding agent. I'm trying to make something like Cowork. 3 games, 5x profit. Another 4 is failed. 1 is free to play. Cool. Making games is something I want to do at some point. People will start asking, why not Claude Code? That's easy, because Claude Code sucks. How to be like you, a senior engineer. I am in final year of uni. You have to go to work and learn stuff. There's no secrets. There are no secrets here. It's all pretty straightforward stuff. Now, let's see. Shared state in-memory token registry. What's it doing? It really is just working away by itself. This is one of the things I don't really like because it makes it essentially impossible to keep up with the changes. So I can't build a mental model, and then that makes me want to just throw the whole thing out. So we got the discovery service implemented here. The HTTP path behavior is now deliberately terminal. Every request under the ACME challenge is answered locally. That's right. Okay, it's got the Envoy HTTP filter created here. It's doing formatting and checking, making adjustments based on the checks, and now it's moving on to it's reading some protobuf files again. I am going to get it to do these protocol buffers properly. And properly means download them from Envoy, not just hard code them. It's pretty lame to hard code them, I would say. So let's see. We've got the build here. That's correct looking at the moment. It's only going to rerun if the proto folder has changed, which makes sense. Then we have lib, which has the protos being pulled in. We have a once lock, which is an app, static app, which has the config. Oh. Once lock arc to app. So is loops just a buzzword and we still in prompts? I don't know what any of that crap means, to be honest. What do I think about open models? I haven't tried them enough to have an opinion. So this is the ABI here, the SDK. And if we look at an example, let's say, what's in lib? So for some reason, Codex has decided to create this app abstraction here, where we have the config shared state and runtime. Is that Rust? Yeah, it's Rust. And then we got this runtime block on. Where's runtime coming from? Tokyo. Interesting. Thumbnail had anime protagonist vibes. So we're actually storing the Tokyo runtime in this thing. I mean, sure. We've got storage here, storage prepare, which is for some reason asynchronous. Let's look at this. Disk storage, which holds a path buff, which has new and prepare, which apparently is asynchronous. FS create dir all is from Tokyo. Why did we decide that we needed asynchronous disk operations? To instantiate the disk storage. Set owner only directory. Okay. Sure. I definitely wouldn't have done it like this, but okay. We're going to run the storage thing inside the runtime. We're going to actually block until the storage is ready. Makes sense. And then we're going to create a listener, which is going to do the gRPC thingies. Actually, I didn't want a TCP listener. I wanted a Unix socket. And then we're going to create the gRPC service here with this super long import for some reason. I think Codex has finished its run. Implemented the complete first version. JSON config, disk persisted ACME account, challenge interception with host validation, background issuance and renewal with retry handling, Envoy v3 state of the world, STS stream state of the world. So that means it's not doing Delta discovery. Okay, that's fine. That should be fine. Atomic only storage files. Owner only storage files. Sure. Process wide Tokyo runtime and shared challenge certificate state. Okay. Examples in README. Let's see. How many lines? 100 lines. When I hear ACME, I picture Wile E. Coyote. So do I. Me too. A dynamic module that obtains and renews one SAN certificate. Oh, just one. What if I want multiple? Okay. The build, yeah. So we produce this .so file here, and that's probably what will get released to GitHub, and also so you can just download it from GitHub. And then the second thing is probably uploading it to a tool called Built with Envoy. Okay, and then yeah, so people just download it and put it in their path, whatever. This is the config that someone will place in their filter configuration. It's going to look like this. These are optional and they have defaults. So probably, yeah, we'll have a default like that. And then the path must be absolute for the storage. Okay. All domains are placed in one certificate and published under secret name. Secret name. Oh, okay. So then they're published under that so that when Envoy requests a secret, it's going to request this name. And this thing's going to answer on that name with the cert public and private key. So someone's going to set up this module with the config, blah, 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 and they put the other filters. And then they're going to create this cluster here, which is going to hit Envoy on loopback. And then in their listener configuration, they're going to set this TLS certificate config, which is going to hit the cluster that was just defined here. So it's not as nice as Caddy. In Caddy, I'll show you an example of Caddy. Okay. If I go to the RTMP manager, for example, and in here I've got this Caddy file. In Caddy, you just do something like this. And when it starts up, it requests a certificate for that domain name. It doesn't get better than that in terms of a user experience. Unfortunately, Envoy is a little bit more complicated and a little bit more explicit. So you have to create the filter, which is going to do the challenges, or it's going to intercept the challenges. Then create a cluster which is pointing at a what do you call discovery service. I wonder though. Doesn't the same thing happen in Nginx also? I don't know. I think you'd need a plugin or something like that for Nginx to do that. Or people use Cert Manager to do that. So I wonder, instead of putting a cluster that's going to answer on gRPC, what you could do is use the JSON API type. No, you still need a cluster. You still need a cluster. So I can't save that. Can't make that any smaller, I don't think, unless I build it directly into Envoy. But I'm not about to do that because Envoy is written in C++. So this is fine. I'm going to say one thing to Codex, which is I don't like how we fetched and then vendored the protobufs. I think the build.rs file should actually download releases, zipped releases of the required protobufs from GitHub and extract the necessary files. That way we can keep them in sync with the source of truth. That seems reasonable, right? Maybe I should pause. No, that's okay. We'll let it go. And then we'll commit this stuff. And then we'll move forward from there. I do need to go through and just see, so storage, pretty reasonable. It is, let's just see this again. So we're creating a directory, the root directory, if it's not there. And then we're setting its permissions. And then we've got a method here for loading the account, which I don't know why all of these are async. And I don't like these little helper methods here. Like, okay. Read JSON, right? So we are getting the path, the root path, then we are reading the path. Root.join name. So there's a file under here, under the root directory by name. And the based on the name, how is this generic over the result like that? So are you telling me, let me see what the names are. So we've got certificate file and account file. So basically, when it tries to load certificate file, Okay, this is how it's working. Let me explain this to everyone. This function here, readJSON, is an asynchronous function. It has one parameter, which is name. Name is a string. It gives back a result, which could be nothing, or it could be a particular type, which is denoted here by the letter T. T has a trait bound called deserializeOwned. That means that T, whatever T is, must implement deserializeOwned. Fair enough. Then inside the body of this function, we're getting the path by joining together the root and the name that was passed in. So we're going to get something like /varlib /account.json. Then it attempts to read that path. And if there's something there, it is going to try to deserialize it into the type of T. If it doesn't work, it just gives back an error. If it does work, it gives back type T. Now here's the thing. Type T can be either stored certificate or stored account. How does the compiler know which one it should try? It's because of this type hint here. Stored is being explicitly typed as an optional stored certificate. So when it's all compiled, you're not calling just readJSON. You're calling the monomorphized version of readJSON, which is only expecting a stored certificate. Is that a lot? That's a lot, right? All of that when I could just make a function like this. Read certificate file. So it'd be like option certificate. Right? And then you could do another one called read account file. And the cognitive burden to have methods like that rather than this, it's like nothing. You know what these are doing, right? Anyway, should I clean these up? I don't know. I think yes. I think yes. I think I will. I'll get Codex to clean that up. May cargo query creates IO for the current maintained HTTP client for the protobuf downloader. Use request. Pretty straightforward. I mean, why UREC? But then I can't spend 10 minutes explaining it. That's true. That's true. And then I can flex how much I know Rust. That's what it's all about in life. Yeah, UREC is probably the way to go here. I don't know. We'll just go with request, and if it takes too long to compile, then do something. We'll swap it out. Doesn't matter. Whoa, okay, yes, this is good. Delete the files. Very nice. Then it's downloading the protobufs using SHAs. I'd prefer tags. Yeah, I think I prefer tags. Note, prefer to use git tags or branches instead of SHA. hash instead of hash. Ref hash. Rust mogging all the chat maxes. That's literally what I'm doing, yes. So I could sit here and review this code. Or I could make, I need to, at some point, I need to stand up an Envoy proxy to actually test that this works. Oh, Codex agrees that git tags and branch. Look at this. Prefer to use git tags or branches instead of ref hash. Agreed. If it agrees, then why did it do it the other way in the first place? Envoy and PGV already use. What's PGV? PGV? Protoc Gen Validate. Okay. They already use release tags. I'll look for tag, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. What is the best harness that I use? I can't tell the difference. Whatever you like the most. Let's see. Let's, in parallel, in fact, I think I need to expand this. Let's get rid of this for the moment. We're going to go back here. I'm going to have a second window here. I'm going to use anti-gravity. And I'm going to say source storage.rs. We've implemented methods on disk storage, which are generic JSON reading methods. These seem way over-engineered. I think we can just have one method each. Let me think about this. Is there any reason left to learn anything when you can basically everything know vibe coded? Well, for starters, I would learn proper English and grammar. So that when you communicate to streamers online that they don't get annoyed. Yes, there's still a point to learning. What are you talking about? You can't prompt if you don't know what you're doing. And you can't inspect the result unless you know what you're doing. So the whole agentic engineering is a loop of plan, execute, inspect. You need to be able to plan and inspect. Slam. INDRaj_3 says, my favorite tech uncle is back. I'm back. What? Bro vibe coded the comment. You just got into YC. Is that Y Combinator or is that a university? Okay, so Gemini has rewritten the methods. They are worse now. So we're going to adjust it even further. The error handling is also extremely over-engineered. Fold them all. Let's say, yeah, let's just say that. I hate double the work after thinking of a prompt you have to check and verify and test. Where are the testers now? I don't know where the testers are. And it does feel a little bit like doubling the work, doesn't it? Send you connection request on LinkedIn. I have over 6,000 connection requests, so I might have missed it. What's Codex want? Codex wants to run Clippy. That's fine. I hope that it doesn't run into some issue with these, because then it's going to conflict with anti-gravity. Oh no. Allow dead code, Clippy, doc, lazy continuation. I don't like this. I'm not a fan of that. Cargo build is fine. Is it going to mess with the stream encoding? I think no. My CPU just eats it. By the way, when I am typing, can you hear the keyboard? Apparently, yes. But I think I have noise suppression. Filters? Noise suppression. Yeah. Okay. Why am I vibe coding? I'm not vibe coding. This isn't vibe coding. Reworked protobuf generation in build RS. Downloads the archives. Yep. Cargo test. Blah, blah, blah. Let me see. So it's still using the hashes. Not a fan of the hashes. Why did it not change the hashes? Verifies pin. No, I didn't want this. What happened to using tags for branches instead of hashes? Oh, it says moving branches would undermine checksum reproducibility. Okay. We don't care about checksum reproducibility. We care about convenience of humans being able to adjust the tag or branch name. Is there any reason you're relying on anti-gravity like not using Claude? Claude sucks, that's why. How is using Codex Slop not vibe coding? Because I'm reading the code. Sydney versus Brisbane, better career growth with lesser job risk. I don't think there's a difference. So vibe coding would be if I just said, oh, look, it works. That's good enough. But obviously, we're not doing that. I've read probably like 10% of the files, and I don't like them. So let's see. I've simplified the error handling control flow. Instead of wrapping the read operation, we now just do a simple match. Let me see. So we have still pretty ugly. Like this here can just be, let me see this. So we can do, this is a result. So if you do transpose, is it transpose? Or is it okay? No, it's not okay. Maybe map error. Map or none. I forget the exact method. We need to change the, what we need is an option. Yeah. Option question mark. Right? I think that's the same. Let me see. Oh, we got to get rid of the match statement there. And we have to call, okay, that's fine, no problems. And then now it's having a little, the question mark can only be used on results, not options. So get rid of this, get rid of this, and then once again, this here, we want okay. And now I think that's valid. So we've got, yeah, this is okay. If account directory and contact equals that, blah, blah, blah. So this is checking if the config is the same as what's been loaded. Damn, that's a hot take. First time here. What's my take on spec-driven development? Where they write a massive spec file, isn't that old news now? Like, people have just given up on that. Cert Manager and Istio are going to get a rival today. Kinda. This is really, what this is for is someone who just wants to run Envoy by itself and get LetsEncrypt stuff happening without much fuss. I know Cert Manager can, like, so I don't know how Cert Manager and Envoy work together. Doesn't Cert Manager do the HTTP? Like, what if you're already running port 80 on that box? Man, this is bright. Using Cert Manager for TLS, it's so bright. Where's my plugin for that? I don't have it. See, there's one for Envoy Gateway, but we're not doing that here. We're doing just a standalone Envoy proxy. Or you could write code like a proper dev instead of being quality control operator. Apparently I'm giving off Greek god vibes. Thank you very much for the compliment. Let me think, right? Before we had these generic methods. Let me think. I mean, these aren't that bad. They kind of do what they say on the tin, which is fine. This needs to be cleaned up. These are not doing too many annoying things. I don't know why we have like these temporary files being written. I guess, so it's doing a rename, which is an atomic replacement. That's why it's doing that. Yeah, so couldn't that be externalized? This is what I find annoying. So like, okay. Shouldn't, let me think about this. Stored certificate, stored account. And it only has one. Yeah, see, this is what I don't like. I think the disk storage actually should have something more like account or accounts. Probably just one account. Or maybe what it should have is the stored account, let's say, has certificates. Is it then more like a sidecar proxy? It's kind of like that, but it's actually not a sidecar because it's going to be inside the proxy. Like it's going to be loaded as a dynamic module. Okay, so yeah, we have all these like helper methods for doing this serialization when it could all be on the one. But I suppose there's one file for each. It's kind of annoying. If I've got multiple certificates, are they all in the same file still? Or do I make multiple files? Then I need a naming convention. Yeah, annoying. Expected account credentials found none. Yeah, that's because I changed that stuff up. Kind of annoying. Kind of annoying. Let's see what we have in here for the meantime. We have the challenges, and then we have a channel. What the fuck is that? Why are we sending why are we sending that? So it's initialized with a none. That's fine. But then when we're publishing, we're sending a atomically reference counted certificate. Why can't, is it not it's not thread safe? What happens if we don't do that? Firstly, I've got to go into here and fix this stupid crap where it is expecting what was it? 76. This here is going to be option account credentials. Expected account credentials found option. Load account. That's this one. I wait. Question mark. Right. What? This always returns an option. Why is it huh? This expression has type account credentials. I don't think it does. Unless I remove the question mark. I suppose that's oh. And what else is it suggesting? 73. It thinks I should do like dot directory. That doesn't make sense. No, this is fine. Yesterday, I was doing this sort of same stuff, not sure, but was for my home lab with self-signed cert auto rotation for my service running in K0S. Is that meant to be Kubernetes? Okay. So this is all fine. Can we do a cargo build? Yep. So this is fine now. We have account credentials here. This is de-uglified a little. Still kind of ugly. It's fine. Have I ever worked on eBPF? I haven't. I want to though, at some point. Wait, what happened here? Did I change this file? I don't think I did. File change while reading it. Probably formatting. You think making something custom in kernel space will be a good stream idea? Potentially. So what did I? So this is. Did it fix the? Okay. It did stuff in the dumbest way possible. That's fine. I don't. Yeah. Let's just not do that. XDS branch, I think. All right, main then. Fine. Google APIs branch. Why is there a space? Yeah, that's fine. Envoy tag. That should be fine. We've got a function that gives back this here. Can this not be const? What would happen if it was? Archive isn't const, but it could be. Could it not? No, it can't. So overcomplicated. Wow. KOS is K3S rival. Interesting. Happy to see you look into that. I was recently attending KubeCon, and after seeing presentation on dynamic modules, I'm planning to write my own and maybe rewrite my previous attempt, which used WASM. Cool. Didn't know about the NeoGit plugin. Yes, NeoGit's very nice. Yes. Where's main in here? We got main here. It's a reasonable size. We've got the ouch directory. We've got the archive directory, protobuf directory. We're going to empty the proto directory. Fine. Wait, why would I do that? Is it going to download the protobufs every single time? We'll see. I really hope not. Build RS. Download. Rebuild. So then we're going to do generated protos. Where's that coming from? Include file generated protos.rs. What? Where'd that come from? And what is it? Oh, this is created by the library. Oh, that's kind of cool. So that means I don't have to maintain my own, like, little tree. Well, I still have a tree here. So, okay, no, it won't re-download. Generated protos.rs, and does it enable me to not have to maintain structure? Okay. Yeah, that can stay. Tagged archive, branch archive. Right. Right. Because of the generated protos, you no longer need to maintain the boilerplate. Yes, so make it so. What else have we got in here? We've got the app, we've got the program in it, we've got a filter config. We have the config being passed. What is Envoy? Why would you use it? It's a reverse proxy. You would use it if you need to load balance to something, or if you want to. There's so many reasons why. I'll tell you one reason that some people might not think of necessarily. Let's say you have an application and your application needs to talk to some other things on the internet. You can actually set up Envoy so that you can make the request to Envoy locally on your machine, and Envoy will handle the connection pooling, the retries, the, like, let's say you can handle rate limiting if you want. It's going to do the health checking for you, all kinds of stuff. Metrics, lots of metrics. Why Gemini 3.1 Pro? Why not? Why not? I have Codex here. I have Gemini over here. Why not? Okay, so where are we at right now? Lib is, I think, in an okay state. We've got this filter here, which is doing, let's see. What the fuck is this? Envoy invokes config factories on its main thread as required by this SDK callback. It invokes config factories. Is this, what even is this? What kind of load balancing does it offer? You mean the algorithms? It's got all kinds. Random, what's it called? Round robin. You can even configure your own. Like, for example, you can do power of 2, ring hash, whatever. Consistent hashing. Its calling is validation mode from the SDK. Envoy can be run in a special validation mode. That's interesting. This is interesting, but I don't know if I would care to include this. Any reason to use Rust over Go? Because I like it more. That's the only reason. I like Rust more than Golang by a lot. So then this is creating, it's got here app. Now, let me see this. So the type signature here is option box dynamic HTTP filter config with EHF trait bound. So then why does this, so okay, ACME filter config is from here. Why does it need... Okay. Why? Explain why ACME filter config dot state needs to be wrapped in arg. Ad hoc chaotic networks, I suppose. So I guess you wouldn't use Envoy if you're running a cloud stack. Yes, you would use Envoy if you're... What do you mean by cloud stack exactly? I don't understand half the things what you're doing, but I'm curious. Fair enough. Ask a question, if you will. Continue request. Man, what? Replace, yeah. Replace that, and then we're gonna replace these with stop iteration. Gonna get rid of that, and then we're gonna also replace this with continue. Get rid of that too. What's this test here? Matches only a single challenge path segment. That's annoying. I'll have to fix that in a second. Challenge prefix, that's going to be the well-known path. Yep. If method is not equals get or head, then 405. That's too specific. Wait, do we want an early return here? So if there is a path header, which there should always be a path header, under what circumstance is there never not a path header? Okay. So let path equals this dot expect always contains a path header. Right? Could you please tell what module you're trying to design here? What's this going to do precisely? We are going to make Envoy answer LetsEncrypt challenges. Method also should always be in the request, so that's fine. If it's not get or head, we want to send back a 405 with a body saying method not allowed, challenge not found. Okay, these are reasonable. This is fine. Then we're going to get this domain, authority domain, and we're going to what? Self state challenges get token and check if the domain is the domain. And if it is, we will send back the 200 with the body, right? And otherwise, we'll say the challenge is not found. Envoy Proxy is a versatile tool for north-south. You can use Envoy Gateway. Yep, that's correct. Which also introduced support for dynamic modules in 1.8 version. Nice. Do you use custom tree set of queries? I don't use that, no. All right. So this is all reasonable. Not really seeing any problems in here. I'm happy with this. So I'm going to say lib is approved. These dependencies are fine. The build file is okay, especially since it is compiling, so it must be working. Could it be IPv6 routing? Why does it not have a path header? It should always have a path header, because it's the HTTP protocol. So we're already like IPv6 is not relevant here. That's a lower layer. This is like we've already established a connection and we're sending bytes, and the bytes should have headers, and required headers is the method path, authority, and other things like that. So why do we have a file called HTTP filter? Oh, okay. This is doing the actual interception. Now, Gemini has answered my question here. State needs to be wrapped in an arc because the shared state it holds must be accessed simultaneously across multiple threads. Right. Because it's shared between the background task, which is writing to it. Does that mean it needs a mutex? Or are they just reading it? It owns a reference. It reaches out and updates the state. Let me see the state file. We have a challenge response. We have a certificate. We have shared state, which has the challenges. So where's the right path here? I mean, I guess this, but who's calling this? Oh, so it's actually called outside by ACME in two places. Load persisted certificate and what's this one? Renewal cycle. So more like cert managers challenge CRD, but inside the Envoy as a built-in parameter, we can actually configure. Who's going to ask for challenges? Lie some incoming ingress request or what? So LetsEncrypt has an API where you will, so first you need to advertise, so first you need to generate your certificate with the signing request. Let's see if I can actually draw this. I might not be able to, but I'm gonna try. Okay. I'll use the pen. Okay, so we have, okay, that's bad. Envoy. And then we have LetsEncrypt. And then we have, how would you say? The filter. This is going to be hard to draw. I'm going to have a challenge. I'm going to have a signing request. Private key. I'm going to have a public key. Or it's really a signed public certificate. What else do we have? Wait, why can't I move these? All right, I can move them. Got the filter. It's so the challenge is really to Let's Encrypt. So Envoy configures the filter. The filter is going to generate private key and certificate signer request. Then it's going to issue a challenge to Let's Encrypt. Let's Encrypt is going to access the Envoy on port 80. Okay. Okay. And the path is going to look something like this. / well-known challenges or ACME challenges or something like that. Token. Okay. When that request comes into Envoy, it's going to be intercepted by the filter, which also has the token here. And then it's gonna hand this token back as part of the response. All right, let's just say this drawing's terrible. Let's give this a little rotation. So it's really the filter which is taking the token and it's responding back to Let's Encrypt here. Let's just pretend that there's another line going back here. Arrow here, arrow here, another arrow here. Oops, another one here. And then so when the filter gives back the token in the response, Let's Encrypt knows that you own that that HTTP path, like that domain and the proxy that's answering. It knows that you own that because you're answering with the token that it wants you to respond with. So it's then going to so this is not direct. So it's going to I think when it answers, so the filter has to set up this stuff already. So it's going to intercept this stuff. Then it issues the challenge. Then Let's Encrypt is going to answer with this certificate back here. Basically. Sorry, that was a bit of a mess. But that's essentially how it works. Are you willing to help me with landing a job at a big software company? How would I do that? How are you able to make sense of so much code generated by LLM in multiple files and then keep all the architecture data flow in your mind? Well, because it's making really what I wanted it to make in the first place. So I already have opinions about the structure and what it should be doing. There were some things in here like how it's handling the data storage, which for me wasn't very elegant, but that's okay. And we still have about half of this whole thing to review still. Like, if we look in this one here, we've got 200 lines. I know what this is already. I kind of know what I should expect. We have a service here. These methods here are helpers. But then this async trait we have down here is implementing the secret discovery service with gRPC. We're not implementing Delta secrets. That's fine. And here it is creating a bidirectional stream. It's got the state, self-state here, which is being shared. See, yeah, there's some things here which they're okay. These are okay, I guess. But and then this is doing a select. So there's two things happening here. Either a request has come in or a certificate has changed. If it has changed, we are... If a certificate has changed, we are changing the version number so that Envoy will get new certs on its next request or something like that. And this one here is handling when a request comes in from Envoy. I don't know. It's part of jobs where outcomes are something the companies care most about, and at the same time understanding what happened under the hood in the AI and learning system design. How to balance this? Your guess is as good as mine. Let me think about that a bit more. Outcomes are something the companies care most about, yeah. And at the same time, understanding what happened under the hood, learning system design. So yeah, so businesses care a lot about outcomes, and they don't necessarily care about how the outcome is created, unless the people in that company are highly technical and they can reason about the mechanism by which the outcome is achieved. Outside of that scenario, you've got business people who have no idea the value, say, of refactoring something. They think it's just wasted time. It's something that's hard to quantify because you can, like, how many people have tried and failed to convince leadership that, for example, refactoring something is important, because if we don't refactor things, they become difficult to change, which means that you are slower moving in business. And that's a bad thing because business wants speed. So I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I'm not diplomatic enough to tackle those problems. Explaining with a diagram is the best thing, helps with the mental model. Do you use a similar way to learn new concepts? Not as much as I should, probably. Okay. So, stop describing my company. That's every company. It's inescapable. So we have this fetch secrets. Here's the funny thing. Here is the funny thing. This tiny function is all that's actually needed in here. But then we have this complicated bidirectional gRPC stream with all the fanciness. So Envoy is going to hold the open and persistent connection. And when the certificates change, you know, this branch is going to be hit here. It's going to send out this response here. TX send service.response. Now what's TX? TX is, yeah, just... Right. So it gives the receiver channel back to the proxy. Envoy doesn't know that's what it has. It just has one end of the stream. And then whenever we send something into this sender, it's going to make its way to Envoy. That's essentially what's going on in here. It's fine. This is fine. But really, yeah, it's fine. We have an abstraction here over the discovery response where we are bringing in these things here. I don't think that's really necessary to do it like that. Use create proto envoy service. I think I like to do these differently. Leadership has the deadlocked FOMO from their rivals. They want to innovate at the same pace, but at the same time don't want to understand the tech debts. Exactly. And it's like, how do you tell them that, okay, we can go fast for a while. At some point we have to slow down. Not because we want to, but because no one understands anything. So like, yeah. I guess, you know, how do you break out of that situation? I've always thought about this, like, so leadership might not know the difference between, say, good code and bad code. They also can't tell the difference between they delivered it on time versus they took less time versus more time. They know that they want stuff to be done now, and they want to hear words that's like reasons for why it's not done yet. But ultimately, they can't make a judgment like, oh, that piece of software took 3 days longer than it should have. They don't know. So, can you spend those 3 days polishing and refactoring and making it good and maintainable? Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. So this, I'm pretty good with this. What's this saying? Encodes an Envoy TLS secret. What's this testing? The type URL is blah, blah, blah. Secret decode. This is a protobuf decode. We shouldn't need this. This is covered by the type system. Not needed. The best part of the learning and everything is you that should learn something from what you made, not just ship the feature or product. Missed the last part. So this fear among men is universal. I think so. Thanks a lot. You have subscribed from me. Big regards from Serbia. Cool. Welcome from Serbia. This also comes down to having good engineering management to handle product management and to shield teams from the BS. I guess, but let me put it this way. If I was the management, how do I tell the CEO these things? I guess I would have to, you basically have to be like a business language translator. So when your engineers are taking a bit longer to deliver something, you have to explain it in some way, in some business way, you know? You can't just say, it turns out it's much harder than we thought, so it's taking longer. You can't just say that, right? You can only say that so many times, in fact, before someone's like, wait, but why is everything harder than we expect? What's happening? Okay, so SDS preliminarily is fine. I want to now look at the filter. This is about 100 lines. we have the SDK. We've got the shared state here. And we're creating a filter, instantiating the filter with the state that's being passed in. Where is this being called, I wonder? Nowhere. Self.state. Okay, we're implementing this on ACME filter config. So the state is really coming from Envoy doesn't really care about what fields this struct has as long as it implements this trait. Seems fine. Go versus Rust for the job market now. Golang's got more jobs. But if you learn Rust, then you'll also have no problem with Go, because Go is a lot easier. Depends on hierarchy. Either head of HOD or CTO handle CEO level in most megacorps. Yeah. Maybe at startup level when ends are in contact with the CEO. True. True. That I think that is the situation where you can have those discussions, because probably in a startup like that, the CEO was the person who built things to begin with, or something like that. So this boilerplate's all fine. Then we have the handlers in here, which is on request headers. We are going to okay, first of all, this is like place this, and then I want to alias this. Self. Can I do? Okay, so we want to do use Envoy proxy dynamic modules, ABI, and then Envoy dynamic. Look at some point I've got to at some point I have to submit some patches to this SDK to make it a bit better. Header status, right? Let's just give that a little rename to camel case. Are we no longer, we don't need self anymore? Okay. All right, that looks like less of a garbage file. CF formatting, yeah, now it's one-liner. That's cool. My company asked me to pick a cert for my personal target, GCP or CKA. You work with GKE, so GCP feels more of a stretch. In terms of ordering, for me personally, my logic tells me that you should get the CKA first, because CKA is more transferable, whereas GCP is like, not every company runs GCP, but a lot of companies run Kubernetes. So that's how I think about that. Our company just went through this with management complaining we aren't moving fast enough, and Eng explaining we need to pay our debt for previous acceleration. There you go. It happens. I'm not just imagining it. Go slow to go fast. It's a cycle always. Yes. Yeah. We have this kind of foolishness in software where we just continually tell ourselves that we'll do it later, but we never do it later. How would I learn programming today? I'd probably just go to Codecademy or something like that, or Exorcism. But learning software engineering, that's different. You need books for that. Let me progress this before I answer more questions. I see, yeah. So we've got the filter here. We're once again checking that the path, did I already edit this? This looks strangely familiar. Why does it look so familiar? Lib. Okay, I didn't edit it before. We have ACME, config, filter. All right, if that's single path segment, authority, we don't care about these tests. Authority domain. So it's getting rid of the port. If port pass is okay, why do we care if the port is a valid number? Okay, sure. I guess. Challenge token, so let token equals path strip prefix challenge prefix. If it's empty or if it contains slash. If it's empty, if it's not empty. Okay, how about this? If token.is empty, return none. Like, what are we doing here? If token.contains these symbols, then also return none. And otherwise, give the token back. This is fine. We can write things in a way that's not confusing. Now what's this here? Header. A function, header, which takes the filter and the header name, and then we're going to call get request header value. This is the kind of thing that I need to patch into the Envoy repo, I think. Because this is kind of, yeah, straightforward. In fact, yeah, weird. Get request header value gives back an Envoy buffer. It's not nice. It's not nice. But that's fine. If that's all that's in here, then we are good. This file is approved. Gonna get back to the storage. Now we have state, 60 lines of code in here. We've got types for the challenge response. These are stored in the state. The certificate, including a version, hasher. So we're hashing the chain pem.hash, private key pem.hash. So we're incrementally building a hash on the contents of the certificate chain and private key. Okay. And using that for a version. And that's how we're detecting if the certificate has changed, like when after it's been renewed or something like that. What kind of projects you build to understand ownership and borrow or become comfortable writing Rust? I was actually going to do a video on that. The way that I learned Rust was when I was given a project by someone else, actually, and I had to maintain it. It's kind of a, I guess the process was hacked a little bit for me. I've got 9 years experience at GCP and recently redundant. The market screams for Azure and AWS. That should be fine as long as you say you know. Well, yeah, if you're using Terraform, it's like a completely different provider, right? So I would just familiarize yourself with AWS. Build your own stack, get something running. Regarding the we need books to learn software engineering, what's your best book recommendation? There's actually a Google Suite book. Look up this one. You can read it online. There's like infinite content here. By the time you read this, you should have a fair idea. So it's not about programming. It's about engineering practices to make the codebase healthy. In fact, I should probably read that. Sorry if it's already been discussed. I saw async functions, which makes sense as you are calling LetsEncrypt. Could you show how SDK calls your async function? So this is an interesting one because Codex wrote this. But if we look in lib, you'll see here we have this struct app. And and it has a field called runtime. What is runtime? It's a Tokyo runtime. So when Envoy is starting this this filter, rather than using like Tokyo main, we're creating a Tokyo runtime and then spawning futures. So we've got here, for example, this is just running this storage preparation. That's going to run the coroutine and then finish. But then we have these that are going to be blocking. So the this TCP listener is used inside this future here, which is going to serve the SDS control plane. I think, let's see, I think this one here blocks forever. Serve with incoming, it blocks forever. So this coroutine will just continuously run. And then we also have down here a background task for the ACME LetsEncrypt renewals, which I'll look at later. I was looking in here, right? How to learn by doing in a structured way. If you don't know a certain thing, how am I supposed to search about it and build it? I think that's why AI is so good these days. You can kind of let it prompt you. For example, let's go to Claude, I guess. Let's see. I want to learn more about microbiology. Can you, but I don't know what to even research. Can you give me the nomenclature for this field along with definitions so that I can form a list of things to learn? I wonder what it's going to say for this. Microbiology is a big field. Structured glossary organized by subfield. It's kind of slow, right? It should be faster. What books have I read related to my work that improved me as a software engineer? Let me think. Okay, so major subfields. Bacteria, viruses, fungi, protozoa, phycology, microbial ecology, microbial genomes, fermentation, classification and naming, bacteria, archaea, eukarya. Yeah, and just like, I mean, there's heaps. How much time could you spend learning? You know, AI is giving you the tools to learn. You just, if you don't understand these things, here's another thing. Okay. The list is quite intimidating. Can you structure it in a hierarchy which helps me build a foundation before continuing to more difficult topics? Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. I've been sitting 2 hours, maybe time to stand up, get coffee. No coffee. Maybe water, though. Yeah, I will get water, actually. By the way, I think, let me check something. Yeah. I have to go in about 50 minutes, but we will continue. I agree LLMs can give us everything asked for, but I kind of don't like to offload thinking or the hard bits to it. But didn't you literally just offload your thinking when you asked me the question? Isn't that the same? Just putting it into perspective. You asked me for advice. I asked the LLM for advice. It's kind of the same, right? Or if you went to your friend or someone else who's really good in the field that you want to learn and you ask them, it's kind of the same. Nothing wrong with it. Why do you use Gemini, not ChatGPT or Claude models? First of all, Claude sucks. I do use Codex, and I also use Gemini. Claude sucks. Even though I'm using Claude right now. Joking aside, you aren't asking for answers. You're asking for a structured way to learn. Yeah. So, like, what's the saying? Tier 0 before you start. What's, you know? Yeah. If I wanted to learn something, that's personally how I would do it. Anyhow, let's just get while I review the code you've written, I need you to set up a Docker Compose environment, which is going to run Envoy with an example configuration. Oh, how am I going to get the actual certificate? Probably use the staging ACME URL. And, oh, actually, I think we can use Pebble. Possibly use Pebble as the ACME, a local Pebble as the ACME URL. So we can do an end-to-end test of dynmod. Don't touch any of the existing files. Seems good. What do I think about Chinese model? I haven't used it enough. I want to use it at some point. Why Claude sucks? I find it very verbose. I've always found Anthropic models very verbose. Yeah. And I've always found Codex to be better for coding. Maybe it's a style thing and I like that style more, but that's where we're at the moment. Contact email. I got the challenges in a dash map. This is a concurrent hash map. Can I know how did you get to use? How do you used to get things done before LLM was even a thing? How did we do things before LLMs? Trial and error, reading documentation, Googling. That's it. Things took longer. After Atlassian, do you have a job now? Yes, I do. Kind of the same, but LLMs can be biased or straight up lie. Correct. So you do, let's say you're learning, an LLM's giving you a learning plan. You're asking it for information about all this stuff. It's teaching you lots of things. Some of that stuff is wrong and you don't know it's wrong. What do you do? Check an alternate source. But just keep in mind that before that point, you didn't even know what the words were. Now that you know, you can at least look them up and confirm it. Like, for example, you could check on, I don't know, Wikipedia or something like that. You could try to find books on the topic. But for the part of getting started, like, LLMs make that process easier. So when we create a shared state, we're creating a watch channel with only the sender side. Where does the receiver go? Send, replace. Okay, we don't do anything with the receiver here because we have a subscribe method. Certificate simply takes the last certificate that was sent in. So this is already kind of bad and wrong for me. It's assuming there is only one certificate file. Okay, that's what it is assuming. So I am going to for the most part, this config is acceptable. The SDS was acceptable. Oh wait, no, I haven't actually looked at the config yet. I haven't looked at the ACME stuff either. What's this? Added a self-contained end-to-end, no existing files. It includes Envoy, Pebble, validation, certificate delivery, automated verification of persistence, validation bypass, keep E2, E1. What? Why? Have I ever felt lost during mid-senior level? I would say if you don't feel lost, then it's a red flag. If you don't feel lost, it means the problems that you're dealing with are too easy, and you're at risk of maybe, being let loose. Why is it so hard to find a job as a fresher? What is a fresher? A dash map is a concurrent hash map. It's provided by a library. So Codex decided that it would make bash files replace the shell scripts with a just file that sits in the root of the project. Missed opportunity to call it a cache map. It's not too late. You can make your own implementation that's way better than it if you have the chops. So we've got the Pebble config, we've got the Envoy config, compose.yaml, where we are running Pebble with these commands like this. That's interesting. See, challenge test server. Oh, that's cool. Fresher, new to industry. Did you call companies before you were about to graduate to see if they have a graduate program? If so, how many? Challenge test server, Pebble, Envoy, and then test. I don't know what this is exactly. We have a volume for the state and explicitly defined network. The test is doing what? I can't tell what the test is doing. The test proves that Pebble resolves acme.test. Pebble fetches. Wait, why is there a challenge test server? Isn't the filter meant to be doing this? So we're building the dynamic module here, and then we're copying it into the directory. Okay. Let's look at the Envoy. Why does this have a different icon? Whatever, doesn't matter. There has, by the way, there has not been a single peep on X as far as I've seen. Which means no one is watching me on X. Not a single damn person. We are still streaming. Is there 30 people watching on X right now? Or is that just the number of views? Unfortunately, I can't tell. Oh. Brooks is on Twitter. Cool, cool. Oh. Yeah, okay. You've been sending a few messages, but they haven't come through. Because I was looking, let me see if I can drag it out. See, I had this here. This URL, maybe it's not working for X, but if I go to the dashboard, I can see there is activity, in fact. But this one here, apparently not. Let's see. Yeah, apparently I can't pop the chat out. I'll have to write something that fetches the messages from here somehow. I don't know how I'm going to do that. You asked me, did I learn Vim from a book? No, I just practiced. And then you said, I was thinking about using a platform called CS Primer. Never heard of that one. CS Primer, let me check that out. Oh, yeah. Learn CS by writing code, self-paced. That's cool. Is this free? Log in. Subscribe. Monthly, $100 a month? Damn. That is interesting. I would be keen to hear from someone who has done this to understand roughly how much time it took them to get through. Okay, so here's the... So it's basically like a uni education. Okay, okay. So here's the interesting thing. If I do subscribe to this, it's tax deductible. Okay, my laptop is playing music. That's interesting. Yeah, so this is tax deductible. So seems pretty cool. Good topics here. This is basically uni education. So while it may seem expensive, actually this seems like a good deal. Depending on the quality of this content. Okay, it's like 30 hours, another 30 hours here. Yeah, there's heaps of content here. This seems pretty cool. Yeah, I would do that. As a fresher, do I really need to know about system design concepts and DSA for the higher package? Yes. Absolutely you do. Yeah. It's been 3 days at my first engineering job. I can describe the experience with one of... You're already tired? In 3 days? Do I still practice data structures? Yes. The other day I was practicing 2 pointers. I mean, it's easy. Like, it's pretty straightforward, but 2 pointers, binary search, stuff like that. Do I usually just give them a goal and let them work it out, or do I guide them with plain English and specific technical. Yeah, I guide them. I'm not a fan of vibe coding. Hello, Corpula. Welcome in. It looks vibe coded. The course looks vibe coded, or what I'm doing? It won't be tax deductible unless it has a VAT number, an accredited institution. Really? Really? That's a good point. I guess it would be good if they could provide that. Okay. Am I using anti-gravity with a plan? Yeah, I've got a plan. Why am I mogging in the stream thumbnail? Codecrafters is better. You can learn by doing. Yes, Codecrafters is also very good. But this CS thing looks like the academics, which are also separately good to do. Anti-gravity has performance problems. I haven't noticed anything like that. Fine-tuning a small language model? I don't know. Don't know anything about that. Okay, we have the Envoy configuration here. Just going to close this for a sec. We have the JSON configuration, which is badly formatted. Just going to fix that up real quick. Difference between Claude Code and anti-gravity. The models are different, and Claude Code is a good harness, but I don't like the models. Okay, so it's going to hit Pebble. It's going to have acme.test. Cool, cool. It's going to check every 5 seconds. Fine. You want to do interesting things with Golang and Rust, but my CS foundation is not deep enough. Does it make sense to learn Rust or learn the fundamentals first? I think you could learn Rust before fundamentals, but Rust won't teach you fundamentals. So I think learn both. The order, I don't think it matters a lot. The fundamentals will take longer to learn than Rust, I think. You tried Code Crafters? My knowledge wasn't deep enough. Yeah, some of them are hard. Some of them are hard. Like if you just go straight for making an interpreter or a compiler, that's a hard one. Making a proxy, that can be hard. So yeah. Anti-gravity is from Google. It's not OpenAI. So we have the port 80 filter chain listener. Then we have the TLS listener, and we can see that it's got this TLS context here, which is grabbing the certs from the ACME SDS cluster. And that cluster is defined down here. It's hitting 50,051. And that should be advertised by the filter, which is this. Yeah. Okay. So that's all good. Now, what on earth is this? I'm not sure if I like this. Does it really matter to learn all these things in the age of AI? I'm genuinely interested in Linux system admin and also trying to become a kernel developer. Well, I don't think you'll even be able to work on the kernel unless you know what you're doing, regardless of whether AI is producing something or not. I think it would be a really unwise step to to submit work that you don't understand yourself. And in order to understand it, you need to do a lot of learning. Sometimes it makes me feel hopeless. I'm learning things that don't really matter. Well, I would try to separate it. Maybe like for every hour that you spend learning something that is an in-demand skill which can get you money, spend another hour learning something which you feel is healthy for fundamental knowledge, even though it may not be valuable to anyone. I think I missed a message there about Rust. Someone was saying something there. So I asked it not to do shell commands, so it put the shell commands inside a just file. The absolute just disrespect. So what's it saying? Logs, blah, 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 and cleanup. Trap cleanup, exit int term. Exit int term. These are the 3 arguments that are being passed in. Exit status. There must be a better way than to run shell scripts. If anything, I'd rather just written in Rust. What a top niche in YouTube videos make money? I have no idea, man. You recently moved from sysadmin to DevOps 2 years in. I haven't coded before. You're interested in Go? Yeah, learn Golang. Yes, you should learn Golang as a DevOps or platform engineer. Okay, so it's going to go off and edit that pile of crap. Meanwhile, I'm going to look at this. We have, oh, that's right. I wanted to make this filter support multiple domains. You can learn Python if you want, but Golang's just better. Yeah, definitely Golang. The supports config, which only has config, which only seems to support one certificate or SAN. Is that right? I wanted, say, 10 different SANs. How would that work? How would you approach getting a new job after an AI-related layoff? There's various ways. Probably the most underrated way is to go to meetups and just network with people. Say hi, tell them what you've done, what your situation is. Most meetups are swarming with recruiters and stuff. And if they already know you by face, then, it's more likely that you'll actually get an interview versus shortlisting getting your resume scanned or whatever. They're already talking to you. What do you think about metaverse and blockchain in the next 5 years? Fully irrelevant for me. Why is Go just better? It's faster. It's typed, statically typed. It produces a single binary. It's got a massive ecosystem. It's simple and easy to understand. Should I go on? Do I have any advice for someone who wants to become a platform engineer? I'm not sure where I should focus my learning. Look at okay, so here's what you do. Indeed.com. Platform engineer. San Francisco. Wait, why isn't this showing up? San Francisco. Hello? It's only showing Australia. That is interesting. Okay, this is fine. So, you go through, you look at, say, this one up the top, cloud and security. Pays 140 to 150 Australian dollars per year. Which, for some people, is a lot. For some people, not enough. Doesn't matter. Then you look at, what do they need you to do? Building and supporting cloud infrastructure. Has worked with infrastructure as code. You should know what that is. Terraform. You could look up Terraform plus tools related to Terraform. Maybe you look at the AWS CDK. Maybe you look at Pulumi, whatever. Experience with CI/CD pipelines, GitHub Actions or similar. Maybe you're familiar with GitLab runners, Bitbucket pipelines, whatever. Understand cloud security principles and has exposure to security operations. So what does that mean? You need to know what this means. Blah, blah, blah. Go through, look at these, tick them off. If you don't know, these, once again, take these, go to Claude, punch them in. I found a job ad with these responsibilities. Requirements. Turn this into an interactive checklist and help me determine my skill level with each. Then do some projects. Do the projects, add the projects to your CV, send out your CV, make sure your CV is got all the keywords and everything. Also, give your CV to an LLM and say, reformat this, optimize for ATS, but don't embellish anything. Just keep the meaning the same. No embellishment, ATS format. And it'll do it for you. Send it out, go to meetups, talk to people, tell them what you've been working on recently, post some YouTube videos, post on LinkedIn. People will find you. No Twitch stream. Yeah, it didn't work. Then you start the job and realize the description was misleading. Absolutely. Yeah. The description is never what you're actually doing. Okay, so let's, this is cool. I like it's got this little skill rating. So I would say 4 is better and 0 is not as good. So I would say, I don't know a 0 at all. So I would say 3 here. Then I would say 4. I'd say 4. I'd say 2. Security fundamentals plus exposure to security operations. So exposure, it's a low bar. So incident response, vuln scanning, IAM hardening, and SOC adjacent. Oh, okay. So that's like 4 then. Cool. Monitoring, yeah. Automation, yeah. DevSecOps. What does it say about this? Doesn't really say anything about that, but wants to keep growing across these disciplines. Yep. Belief in the future group's mission. Whatever. Belief in using money for, yeah, that's fine. Whatever. Cool. Delete this conversation. Irrelevant for me. But yeah. Something like that. What am I building right now? Explain to a 5-year-old kid. Me make Envoy. No. Me make proxy download certificate. Good. Having a portfolio in projects is important? Yes. Is Go good for backend? Yes. When I was working, did I dedicate time outside of work to study? Yeah. In this market, only professional experience is valued. Even then. Even then. me, me make goo goo on the gaga. All right. So Antigrav says the module is designed to provision only one certificate per Envoy process. However, that single cert can support multiple SANs. Oh. Oh, cool. Well, that's easy. All right. Let's a little follow up here. What would it take for what would it take for us to not even have to supply the domains SANs, and for the dynamic module to pick them up somehow from the configured static or dynamic listeners? The one way I can think of is if the certificate, if the secret name was the domain that needed to be fetched, and Envoy would have to wait. Oh, that could be hard, because so Envoy would make a request for the secret, and the gRPC server would have to send. Oh no, maybe it wouldn't be that bad. Longer? Question mark. How did you assume a 5-year-old knows about proxy? That's a good question. Yeah, that's a good point. Expand like I'm 5, but the 5-year-old is Terry Davis. You created a backend project, could not find a new job. So I noticed you said I created a backend project. I noticed specifically that you didn't say I created 100 backend projects. So, bit of a volume problem, I would say. What's going on here? Did you send like bazillion laughing messages. What's happening here? Oh, my server was lagging. Do I use codecs with anti-gravity? Yeah, I alternate. My relative said working with AI is slower than straight up writing the code. Is he right or wrong? I don't know. We need a science experiment for this. What did I say? On-demand SDS. Oh. It supports pausing a handshake to fetch a certificate dynamically. No, this is bad because that means the first request that comes in is going to get a massive lag. Massive lag. And it's going to time out. Because it's on demand. It's only going to happen when the request comes in. It's lazy. Latency. The challenges take time. Yeah, way too long. Denial of service. Oh, yeah. Oh, I see. I don't know about that. Config dump polling approach. If you want to avoid the handshake delay, it could be modified to act as a background worker, which reads Envoy's own config. That's a bit gnarly. I don't like it. We're not doing that. First job, AI product engineer. All our dev work is using agents. Do I embrace it? Or do I keep grinding LeetCode? Well, if you're an AI product engineer, I would say you have to embrace it. If you want to study LeetCode on the side, then that's fine too. Sounds like caveman. I create 0 backend projects. Is that good? Will you get hired at Atlassian? No. Make it open source, then frame it as contributing to open source. Doodaloo. Is he dropping the sub bomb? Oh, I missed it, huh? The sub bomb has been dropped by B Diddy 999, the absolute madman, dropping memberships on the internet like an absolute madman. And Alex dodged it again. How many times have you dodged it? It's statistically impossible now. I need like I need like sound alerts or something like that. I wonder if it's truly RNG or if they have some weighting. Yeah, I don't know. Three to 4 times. Yeah, it's crazy. Bad luck. YouTube knows that you're hanging out for it, and so it's like keeping you engaged somehow. That's what I think. So let's see here. So I'm guessing we're doing a ton of validation. Yeah, valid. Okay. I made the so I added new tiers to the memberships, and one of them should be like really cheap, really cheap, especially because it supposedly it adjusts it for the region. You're going back to work. On Twitch, you can gift to specific people. Can you not do that on YouTube? I really got to get Twitch working. Not streaming on X this time. I should be streaming on X. I should be. Did it switch off? No, it's still going. It's still going. I don't know. Does it show up on my profile, though? That's the question. Yeah, it does. So my face has a ring around it. Let me show you. Yeah. It shows that I'm live here, live on X. I've got to sort out a way to get all of my chat messages into the same place. In case anyone was wondering, I showed this a bit earlier in the stream, but I have this proxy that is sending it on to YouTube and Twitter, but Twitch failed, so I need to work out why that's no good. Pretty cool. This is also completely built with AI. This interface here is using Topcoat, which is a Rust crate, and so it's got WebSockets in here for the chat. And I am reading messages one at a time, and this is how I'm doing it, which is good. But also when I start streaming in OBS, it sends it here. It doesn't make it live immediately. It's got a preview using JavaScript to show the actual stream, and I can publish here. So that's kind of cool. Thank you for the congratulations on 100K. Yeah, I will show you actually. I will show you. The shiny button. Nice, huh? Apparently, some people don't get those for a while, but I received mine quite quickly. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, so Codex did a thing. Let's see. The validation in config.rs. Replace with Surday valid. Stream on YouTube is like 10, 15 seconds behind. Oh. Is the one on X like way earlier? New to your YouTube channel, can you tell in a short, simple way, what are you doing in this stream? Well, first, do you know anything about Envoy? Can I sign it? I'll write the guy who can't get a gifted sub. Seeing people get theirs 6 to 8 months after. Yeah, it didn't take me long. Did not take very long. Took me maybe a few weeks. If you're in here and you haven't been in my channel before and you are wondering what's going on, it is difficult to explain without knowing what Envoy is. Okay, so rather than doing a bunch of shell script commands, I have decided that we'll run some tests using Rust. Wait for cert. Verify persistence. Okay. Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but I much prefer this to a shell script. This is way easier for me to read. Million times easier. Yeah, happy with that. This is fine. Now that's fine. We've added Surday valid. Config should be a little different now. You have to climb a mountain with 1,000 steps and trade with a red panda above the clouds. Yep, confirmed. I did that when I was learning how to code. Now why default? Oh, we default to the production URL? I suppose that's fine. I'm a recent grad. I've applied to 100 jobs. Haven't gotten a single response. There's something wrong with your CV. For sure. Yeah. So I would recommend giving your resume to Claude and saying, keep the meaning the same. Do not embellish anything, but rewrite my resume in such a way to optimize for ATS. Why not use Istio instead of Envoy? Oh, what's the difference? May I ask why the FTX shirt? I sell these. Did you know that you can buy, that you too can join the risk management team of FTX US? And together we can manage everyone's funds safely, making sure there's no risks. We don't have to lock any withdrawals and steal billions of dollars. That never happens here. Okay? Hello, my Greek friend. Yeah, so yeah, let me show you. Okay. So this shirt that I'm wearing right now. This shirt that I'm wearing right now. Let me grab my tab, damn it. Move tab to new window. Thank you. All right. So my website, I've added some links here. Oh, someone's already on my links. Who is that? Whose cursor is that? I see you. Yeah, so if you go to my merch, we've got FTX US risk management team shirts here. The description, what does the description say? Dress for the job you want or the multi-dollar bankruptcy you're about to cause. This official, with an asterisk, FTX US risk management team is perfect for looking incredibly responsible while doing absolutely no background checks on your internal accounting. Sam Bankman lawsuit on its way? I dare him to try. If Sam Bankman has a problem with this, he shouldn't have stolen tens of billions of dollars. Because no one cares if I print some t-shirts. And I've also added this one here. This is kind of like an in joke. I'm gonna buy this for me because I'm gonna do a talk in November, and the title of the talk is "Good luck, I'm behind 7 proxies." If people don't know, this is based on a meme around the time of like 4chan days when there was a meme explosion on the internet, and this one specifically, it's like people were using proxies to browse the internet, kind of like VPNs. But imagine you were behind 7 VPNs or some shit. Like, stupid. It's stupid. It's like you basically you can't trace my IP or whatever. But that kind of crap. Stupid, but funny to me. I need I do need more ideas for merchandise to create. So I have to think. I have to think of the memes. Like, for example, the recent Zig versus like the Bun Zig drama. I was thinking I could have maybe capitalized on that drama, made a T-shirt that was funny. I don't know. Doesn't Tor do the same thing essentially as a VPN? No, they're very different. Very different. Proxies, VPNs, Tor, they're all kind of different. Meme on the wall. That one, people have said that that would be a good shirt, and I agree. But the artist for that meme is still alive, and they're not an asshole like Sam Bankman-Fried. So ethically, I wouldn't steal their design unless I had permission. But I can make my own meme designs when something funny happens. Okay. So we've got this pass function here. Validating domains starts with blah, blah, blah. We can't validate these? Oh, yeah, we can. That's cool. So this is cleaner, I guess. Why? Yeah, okay. Okay, I see. This is fine. Validation functions, defaults, few tests. This is fine. Is my face streaming? Yes. All right. Nearly done reviewing this whole damn thing. I want to test the... so I should be able to do just E2E. Oh, do I not have Docker? Do I have Podman? No, I don't. Do I not? OrbStack is only... Really? I don't have Docker? Do I not have Docker installed? Since when? Can I install Docker from Homebrew? Or is there a better... Should I use Podman? I think I should probably use Podman. Podman. Let's see Podman. Pacman. apt-get. Is it on Homebrew as well? Okay. Cool. Do I need like Podman Compose? OrbStack is only macOS, right? Isn't that the case? Oh, it is Linux. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, I prefer OrbStack. Cool. How long have I been dailying Linux? I think it's close to an hour. Sorry, a year now. Close to a year. Let me actually try to find the date. I know when the date was. When did Microsoft force Windows 10 users to upgrade to 11? Okay, so it would have been no. Yeah, it would have been about a year ago. Apparently October 15, maybe. Checked my pull request to Envoy yesterday. Did you? That was done with Gemini. Okay. Formula OrbStack was not found. Oh. Okay, we're just going to go with Podman then. The reason why it probably wasn't found for Homebrew is because I'm not actually running Homebrew. I'm running Zero Brew. So Podman, yeah, so place Docker commands with Podman equivalents. You're live somehow popping out of my feed. I'm no programmer. What is your advice to people who wants to learn programming? Well, things that I wish I knew when I first started. The thing I wish I knew when I first started was... Well, there's a big difference between programming and software engineering and, let's say, software development. These are all different things of varying levels of seriousness. I would say software development is like the least serious, and then programming is the most serious. I'm giving terrible advice right now. The thing I wish I knew is just like, I wouldn't overthink it too much. I would just try to learn. You're going to get headaches. It's going to be hard. And the only way to learn really is just to continue to persist, even when you feel like giving up. That's it. It's the only way. And write lots of programs, read lots of code. Tips on being good at maintaining databases. I've got no tips there. Legit SRE roadmap. Not sure I could, not sure if I can think of that. Maybe I'll write that down. Okay, that's fine. Let's see. Just end-to-end. Podman compose, not found. How does one acquire Podman compose? Is that a thing? It's a Python package. So bright. Okay. Do I have pipex? I do. Rust 196 bookworm did not resolve. Really? Oh, because the image tags need to explicitly use Docker IO, or the ones we're using must come from Podman. Does Podman have like a registry? Their own registry with Rust? Do they have a mirror? Yeah. I feel like I can get the schema right initially and then get started, but panic when I start scaling. I think this knowledge is buried in books. Why did I choose Rust over C++? I find C++ absolutely unreadable. One of your coworkers wiped production etcd. Nice. Decrease brightness level. What do you mean? Brightness of what? I'm going to turn off noise suppression. Tell me, does my microphone sound different without the noise suppression? It should sound the same. But you should be able to hear my keyboard more. Probably hear my mouse clicks too. Do you know how I can put Grafana dashboard in terminal? I don't know how to do that. That sounds interesting. How long have I been a programmer for? I don't know, a decade or decade and a half. Have I tried Zig or Odin? No, I have not. I hope AGI arrives soon and robotics advance so fast that UBI is real. And then I can optimize Factorio all day. That sounds pretty cool. It's better with noise suppression. Way more static. Oh, okay, okay. Noted. I will re-enable. Your voice just got deeper. Maybe you hit second puberty. Maybe. Maybe I did. Static noise without the noise suppression. Tick, tick, tick. Books for understanding DSA better. Just go to NeetCode. You'll learn everything you need from NeetCode. All right, so what happened? Some protocol buffers were missing. I ran the E2E, and there's some protos are maybe missing. Now, the storage, it's ugly, but it's acceptable. The ACME workflow is the last file that I have not read. There's 200 lines in here. Yeah, we'll let it do podman compose. So in here we have run, which is looping forever, doing the renewal cycle. So what's it doing here? Delay equals match renewal cycle. Weird. So what's this doing? We have we're getting the certificate out of the state, and it's going to have multiple sands. Is it going to be multiple certs or just one big certificate? I wonder. So renewal cycle here. Delay equals this. Right. This is strange. Config check interval. If the certificate needs renewal, but it's one big cert, right? Kinda weird. Kinda weird. Does LetsEncrypt allow multiple sands on one cert? It does. You can bundle up to 100 total names. Wow. Hard limit per certificate. And then, okay. How does the challenge work? Is it still one or many requests? Let's do lead code stream someday. Maybe. See ya, Ahmad. Thanks for chilling. Oh, speaking of which, I'm gonna... Yeah, I think we'll wrap it up right now. So right now, I think I reviewed almost everything. I'll probably review the rest off stream. And it is that time. It is in fact that time where I must end the stream. And once again, thank you, B Diddy, for the 10 memberships. And also thank you, YSY Softworks, for becoming a member as well. Appreciate it. I have to do something in like half an hour, so I'm going to take a break and get to that. But we'll continue this. The goal of this is to release it open source. There's a particular issue on the Envoy proxy GitHub that I'll probably just drop it in to say, hey, I solved this little thing that you had an issue with, and see how it goes. Maybe it'll develop into something more. But that's the idea. And yeah, so that's it for today. I'll catch you guys around. Make sure you jump into Discord. And see you in the next one.